I'm pretty fucking tired. I mean, in generally. I fucked up my sleep schedule again. I don't really have a script for this video, so it's just gonna be kind of an ad-libbed rant. Not even ad-libbed, just word vomit, I guess. I keep seeing all these memes about people attacking homeless people. And I remember back when I was running my own community, you had all these 19-year-olds all making those same jokes, and I know for most people they're jokes, but I mean, I was homeless for a year and I don't like hearing that shit. And I know pretty much all of society looks down on homeless people. People see them as failures. They blame them for their mistakes or their tragedies. A lot of people don't realize they're one bad day from being homeless. If they lose their job, what are they gonna do? Hunt for a new one? What if you can't get one? What if you get injured? What if you're hurt and you can't work? What if you're hurt not just physically but mentally? I mean, most people who are homeless have mental issues, and I guess that really doesn't make it better because people look down on mental issues too. They see a disease someone has, and if it's not physical, they just think they don't do it on purpose. They don't believe that mental illness exists. And if they can't help themselves, if they have psychosis, if they have outbursts, if it's if it's anything, people think it's mental illness is just being a little weepy and sad. They don't realize how much it destroys you, how much it fucks with your identity. You don't know who you are, where you begin, and where your mental illness ends. And it just fucking sucks. And people, they see someone going through a tough time and not reacting to it well because maybe they have trauma or whatever, and they just bully them. They think it'll toughen them up, or they just think that they're doing it on purpose, and it's just fucking awful. That's just how people generally are. And the worst part is, unless someone goes through that or has, hell, not even if they have a loved one go through it, because both my parents, most of my family blamed me for being homeless. Some people still blame me for being homeless, and they know exactly what was going on. They couldn't comprehend that I was incapable of reacting to something normally. And sure, you'd have some people say, well, that's just a good reason why you shouldn't be in society, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, or you can just use some basic research and, you know, learn how to just understand their disorder. Some people have this belief that you shouldn't treat anyone differently regardless of what disabilities they have, and I think that's fucking stupid. If someone has inoperable legs and they're in a wheelchair, you don't expect them to go upstairs. And I know some people with wheelchairs are very intent on trying to not be a burden on people. They don't like it when doors are held open for them because it makes them feel weak, and people are like, ooh, yeah, that's respectful. And mental illnesses aren't exactly different. It's not like we want to be a burden on people. But if we have triggers, and I know fucking Twitter ruined that word because, oh my god, triggers, triggering. But they're fucking real. There's certain things that will activate behaviors in your brain, send forward a rush of hormones that make you react to something very intensely. And if it's reasonable to not expose someone to that trigger, and if you understand what it is that will make them have a breakdown, maybe don't make them go through that breakdown just to prove to the world that they aren't normal. For example, I have a severe fear of abandonment, and I can't tell if it's because of borderline or if it's because of PTSD, because honestly, I don't show borderline symptoms when I'm not going through that stress. Other than just being a weird motherfucker, I am completely normal. I'm not manipulative, I'm not aggressive, I'm, pretty chill. And when people bully me and harass me, might haze them back a little bit. It's just trying to fit in or whatever. Trying to just, react to shit better than I have been because, it's just fucking whatever. Or I'll just ignore it, which is what I've done most of my life. But sometimes ignoring it doesn't do anything. Sometimes ignoring it makes it worse because people will try even harder to get a reaction out of you. And by that point, people just call me easily bullyable. And it's like, okay, if I'm easily bullyable, why does that give you a right to bully me harder? Someone actually told me the other day that there shouldn't be rules against people who are as easily bullyable as me, and they should be free game. And I just gotta wonder, what kind of fucking asshole believes that kind of thing? I never used to run into those kind of people. I've been on this earth for almost 30 years now. Holy shit, almost 30. And the problems I had with people were people being too easily offended over shit. It got annoying, and I leaned right-wing for most of my life. And then 2016 happened, and then I was homeless, and shit, honestly, I think it was around 2019 or so, I started to lean more into my leftist views because some things I always believed in, like gay rights or whatever, because I think discrimination's just fucking stupid. It's like you're gonna hate someone for something that doesn't affect you. Some people will try to use religion as a, defense for it, but I don't think those people have even read their religious texts. I mean, Jesus, who's a fucking prophet in Islam, and, the whole point of Christianity, both those fucking religions literally say, actually all three if you include Mormonism, well, they all fucking say, everyone's born with sin and you shouldn't judge people, yada yada yada. He who is without sin, throw the first stone. And people don't realize the whole point of Jesus' sacrifice was because humans were so fucking vindictive and they want to fucking judge each other and hate each other that he said, okay, how about we put all the sins on my back, and I'll fucking crucify myself, and take the blame or take the fucking punishment for everything so you guys can get past it and fucking love each other. But nobody wants to None of these people actually want to pay attention to the good parts of Christianity. They don't want to focus on, they want an excuse to hate gay people, or black people, or poor people, or whatever makes them feel better. And that's just the right wingers. The left wingers are the exact same fucking way. They'll slap labels on people. Ooh, this person's a racist because they did one subtle thing. They breathed oxygen, and guess what Hitler used to do? They do the exact same fucking thing. And they're justified by saying, oh, it's for a greater cause, it's for social justice, blah, 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 blah. And people say, a lot of people say it's like, oh yeah, they're both the same. They're just on two different ends of the fucking coin. And then people will be like, oh, that's centrist believing. You're an idiot if you think both sides are the same. How would you believe for the side that has your best interests in heart? We're fighting for this, which is for you. And it's just like, no, you're not. You're just following the basic human fucking drive to want to have bloodlust and hate people just so you can feel validated in your life. And it's fucking stupid. I'm fucking ranting. I guess another topic is fitting in. Fucking wanted to mention all that shit. Don't fit in anywhere. That's why I was homeless. I get emotional every time I talk about this. But I miss my friends. From every fucking community, I miss them. Alright, this is why I'm not fucking filming my face for this one. Because y'all don't need to see me fucking ugly cry. I've got enough fucking soy jacks of my face out there. Because people think it's hilarious to make fun of someone with a mental illness because they're crying over a video game, even though that's not at all what I was doing. I was crying because I lost my fucking friends. And I miss them. I still do. Fucking while I was trying to fall asleep, after staying awake for 32 hours straight, your brain starts to do weird things, and your brain starts to do weird things and starts pulling up random memories, and it couldn't stop pulling up memories about GTA World. Hanging out at the fucking pier with Tipple. Hanging out at the Lion with Barry and everyone. Hanging out at Legion with Finn. Fucking miss it. Still a band. It's probably a good thing because I didn't really ask to get unbanned. I ended up asking yesterday, but that was after a few months of deciding that whole community was shit and I didn't want to return, and then I just started getting wistful. Got a few reminders of the good times. And my old friends, they don't want to talk to me. They hate me because I had a breakdown that they caused, that I warned them would happen. And they did it anyways. Because a normal person wouldn't freak out. And at first they tried to console me, but I didn't have control. I was in full psychosis. I wouldn't believe that I wasn't hated if you showed me proof, which... I know a lot of people like that, but... And now that I've calmed down, I say as I'm crying, now that I've calmed down and I'm not in that mindset anymore and I can discern reality again, I tried to apologize just to get a middle finger. And that's the worst part of borderline. It's like you lose, like something else takes control of you for a while. And then you wake up, and you basically realize it wasn't a dream. A lot of things you loved are gone. Fuck. Ugh. 15 minutes long this video is, and I highly doubt everyone's gonna even fucking listen to this part of it. I'll make some timestamps, but yeah, most people are probably gonna skip to the end and see what I have to say about GTA World, the lawsuits and shit. Which, fine, I might as well bring up. I had a lot of cases. Let me look at my list. Let's see. GDPR claim. That one was valid, but I ended up dropping it because Nervous sent me exactly what I wanted. He sent me my data. So, even though he'll disagree with this, he did breach, CCPA and GDPR by refusing to send me that data. And then trying to get my fucking driver's license. That was illegal, and he could have gotten a fine for it. And I already made the complaint, but it takes them months to reach back out, and they still haven't, so I don't know if they ever will, but if they do, I'm just going to be like, I'll drop it because I end up getting my data, so that one's dropped. The charity fraud, I don't even know. Nervous showed me a receipt from when he actually sent money to a charity from last year, I believe. What happened to the money this year? Probably it's going to charity. I didn't get confirmation that he did, but I already made my fucking letters to all sorts of year-paid agencies, so if he doesn't, he'll get fucking... He'll go to jail for fraud, so that one's dropped. Unless he actually does launder it, in which case he's fucked, but in my opinion, I don't think he actually is. The DDoS, the data breach, and the retaliation cases, those all got dropped. So, one thing that's obvious about GTA World is GTA roleplay in general, not just GTA World, is there's a whole bunch of fucking assholes in this community. It's just full of, some toxic motherfuckers who, if they don't get their way, the first thing they do is resort to doxing and DDoSing. And it's like, really? What the fuck? And most of these people are extremely racist and fucking, homophobic, and they're just really fucking terrible people. And I think they just lack so much power in their lives that giving that big of a shit about a fucking roleplay community, about getting your virtual guns or whatever, is enough to make them freak out. Which, I'm going to be honest, as if those guys aren't cringe enough, there's already a bunch of people in GTA, a bunch of pasty, tiny-ass European dudes who roleplay as black criminals dropping the N-word constantly, and it's just like, this is cringe. And they act like it out of character too, and it's like, dude, you're not a black American gangster. You're a skinny white fucking European boy living in your mom's basement. Like, people call me cringe because I'm fucking weird and I cry on camera sometimes, but at least I don't do that shit. That's that's cringe even by my standards. But anyways, those people were just lying their ass off to me. I actually figured out who did the fucking DDoS breach, and it wasn't Nervous. The evidence that they sent was cropped screenshots, and once you actually translated it properly, it was different than what they were claiming. He did mention LSRP, but he didn't mention DDoSing it. So those guys had some shitty fucking evidence. Speaking of shitty fucking evidence, half the pedophiles that I had gotten notes on, some of them, as soon as I noticed I had law enforcement looking into it, they dis-fucking-peered, like, blocked me. Like, they told me, oh, this guy's a fucking pedo, and this shit was on the forums. So I went over and I asked them, can you send me a link to the post? And they were like, oh, it got deleted. It's like, okay, that's fine. I'll have Nervous look it up. Sent Nervous the screenshots. He's all like, yeah, I can't find this post. And then I sent it to the police, and they looked into it and they're like, we can't find it either. And Nervous didn't delete it. So that means this fucking kid was lying. And as soon as he realized that police were looking into it, he fucking disappeared. Others were just stupid shit. Like, one admin had was charged with child endangerment. According to a news article, she flung a baby against a wall or something, which, and had no fucking remorse and had a shitty comment. Well, I had a private investigator. It was actually the detective working as a private investigator. He pulled up the fucking case, and it's all like, this shit got dropped because the news literally just made shit up. She did get charged with something, but it was dropped in court because it wasn't at all what the news claimed it was. So I don't know what that person's bone to pick with that admin was, enough to figure that post out, but that was bullshit. And then I had a couple people who I don't know what to think about. There was one guy who was a friend of mine, and I got told that he basically abused a bunch of people in LSRP back when he was a minor, and then did the same thing in NSRP. And one of the victims claims he is absolutely the Antichrist, and then the other basically said, well, he was 19, I was 16, and actually I was 12 at the time, but he thought I was 16. So I'm like, okay, well, legally, yeah, you can't do that, but morally, I mean, if the guy thought he was 16, that's a 3-year age cap. That's not really bad when you're, a horny teenager. It'd be different if he was like 25, or fuck, it'd be different if he was 16 going against a 12-year-old, but that's not what happened. But there's also no evidence. It's all on TeamSpeak and Skype, and all that shit's gone. So if this person did do all of that, they're getting away scot-free. But also something else to keep in mind is this person was a kid when a lot of this happened, and he was also abused by the owner of LSRP. And it just could be a bunch of trolls trying to fuck with him for a grudge. And I mean, I don't know what to do about that. And then finally, there were 3 pedos that I did catch. Nervous was actually pretty helpful in gathering evidence. We got Del fucking banned. Or Del Serene, not me, but someone named Del Serene who's tainted my fucking name. We weren't able to get him thrown in prison because Egypt is completely incompetent about giving a shit about what fucking predators do on the internet. But 2 others I was able to call the cops on, and they are, seeking jail time for them. In multiple states, mind you, so I know one person in particular who I had been hunting for a while decided to whip his dick out in front of a bunch of kids on voice chat. And since this is technically one event, if this happened in person, he would have like 3 counts of fucking indecent exposure to a minor, which might actually be something else, but let's just pretend to be 10 years. So he had 3 counts. Since it was the same event, he would serve them all concurrently, which means he would just get 10 years flat, not 30. But because this was online over a voice chat, he would have to serve that time in 3 different states, which is 30 years consecutively. So he's fucked. And the worst part is about this guy is I don't think he's a pedophile. He's just a sociopath. He didn't reveal himself in front of kids because he's trying to groom them. He did it because he thinks it's funny to traumatize them. And thinks it's funny to do demented shit like that. Which, you can decide if that makes it worse or better. I think it makes it worse because I used to work in a prison. I've met pedophiles. Hell, one of my own fucking abusers always felt at least guilty about it. This guy feels no guilt. All he does is laugh. And then his buddy is also involved, and yeah, they're both going to jail. So, hey, I got some people. Other things like fucking Stefan, who his shit's been spreading over the internet. Turns out there's 2 Stefans, and you can see for yourself by looking them up on the GTA fucking Discord. There were 2 Stefans back in 2018, and they even fucking talked to each other. And eventually, like in 21, I think, the first one got fucking outed and he was banned, and the other one became a developer, and people still mix them up. So Stefan's innocent. Fat Cat is innocent. Yeah, that's basically it. The last 2 cases, the emotional distress case and the illegal content. I offered to drop the illegal content one because he fucking went and unkilled my character. And as for the emotional distress, I wrote him off of it. Even though, he admitted to me that, yeah, what happened to me was fucked up. It should never have happened. He unkilled my character is, I don't know, a symbolic sorry. But, that's fine and all, but I'm still banned. I'm still being harassed by people. My address is out there. My real name. And whether admins do about it, tell me to get a tougher skin. Unless he can fix that, I'm continuing with that lawsuit. It's just fucking... I'm tired. It's not just because I stayed up for 32 hours straight. I don't want to do this shit anymore. You know, if Fres was actually fucking sorry for, and I told him about that too. I told him about the people abusing me. I told him about, you know, my character shouldn't have been killed for this reason, and he gave me the finger. And when I flipped out on him, he just fucking banned me. And if he actually was sorry that which I doubt he is, but if he actually was, he could have said sorry to me personally instead of just having some third party fucking shit with Nervous saying it for him. He was my friend. He betrayed me. Brant betrayed me. And did I ever get an apology from any of them? No. They just yelled at me for not taking accountability. Even though I have a mental illness and I physically can't stop myself from having a breakdown, that they're the ones who they fucking caused after I warned them. It's like if you tell someone my arm's broken, don't touch it, and then you fucking just punch it as a joke. And then I cry in pain and fall over howling. And then you're like, oh, you're just overreacting. Dude, it's a broken arm. It fucking hurts a lot. It's basically the best analogy there is. Well, I'm at 30 minutes. The lawsuits were a success, but I'm still banned, so really what was the point of any of it? GTA world is improving, but as long as the admins hate me and will block any attempt I make at apologizing, explaining, or appealing, you know, I made it better for other people, but not myself. So, it's whatever. I've been putting off making this video for a long fucking time. All I fucking want to do is fit in somewhere. I fucking joined fucking LCRP and immediately started getting called a freak by people. Eventually got to the point where I made a ticket and then there was a fucking riot because I reported them to the admins about it. I fucking tried joining Space Station 14. There's no heavy roleplay servers, and the closest you could get is the furry ERP server, which I don't know. I'm not a fan of public debauchery, which sometimes is really bad, and sometimes people are more reasonable about it, and they just kind of do it in dorms and they stay private. But then you have the admins who are... You have some people that are just like... I mean, they're fucking bullies. And first they'll fucking harass you, and if they don't get a reaction, they'll start reporting every little thing you do. And it got to the point where I had so many fucking admin notes that I just fucking left before I was banned. I'm not going back to MMO roleplays. I have a fucking D&D group, but it's not the open world sandbox roleplay that I really love, so I guess I'll just keep playing single player games until I find something else again, or until something changes. I got an apology from GTA, I got an apology from SVP, haven't got an apology from ESO yet, but I don't know. I should be feeling better. And for a little bit I was feeling elated. I actually fucking cried when Nervous Sun killed my character because I was just so overwhelmed. But days later, that high wears off and you realize nothing's really fucking changed. All you did was get some conclusion. All the good times are still gone. And you won't ever get them back. Till next time.
Once more, Sauron's warriors stand.